I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Printer to Printer with me, Warren Werbitt, also known as the Print Whisperer. Today we have another guest who's distinguished. You know all my guests are distinguished because everyone in the printing industry is distinguishable. We have Magerl from Trebon. How you doing?
Just fine, sir. How are you today?
Good, thanks. Did I get your last name right? I have to ask.
You got it right. You got it right.
Okay, because everyone says that, but I don't believe I get them right. So let's get back on track. So, Michael, tell me a little bit about Trebon.
So Trebon is a commercial printing company here in Kansas City, Missouri. We've been in business over 50 years. It actually started like other printing companies in the basement of our owner, Tim Trebon's house. In the early 70s, he was asked to move out of the house because the big trucks were no longer allowed down the city streets. So we moved into our current location, eventually taking over this whole business park. And as of today, we'll be probably about a $25 million a year printer, specializing in the restaurant world.
Wow, whoa, specializing in the restaurant world. Tell me a little bit more about that. I don't think I've ever heard of a printer really specializing in the restaurant world.
80 to 90% of our revenue comes from the restaurant world. We work with national restaurant chains around the country, taking information from their franchisees or corporate office, creating menu versions, printing those menus, and then sending them out 3-day ground to anywhere in the United States.
Wow. And with the restaurants, do you do anything with them on the digital side?
We also convert any printed menu they have into digital menus that can be read by a QR code. We can break it down to searchable menus that can be placed on their website or transfer it to any third-party delivery system so that at any time that restaurant that you're looking at's local pricing and menu offering is the correct menu offering that they're going to see once they come online.
Wow. I'm almost stumped a little because I've never really asked about the restaurant world. So what do they change? Do they change menus often, prices often, or
seasonally or quarter, at least 4 or 5 times a year? The restaurant will take pricing, maybe reduce menu items, maybe add menu items. There could be different regions around the country that offer different menu items. We have a restaurant in Alaska that offers their sausage is reindeer sausage versus just the regular old pork sausage here in the United States.
Wow, if you ever need anyone to make a personal delivery up to Alaska, always good to go because they got some good fishing up there. So I have a question that just came to mind. You're all 80%, 90% restaurant. What happened to you guys during COVID?
It was very scary during COVID. We had just had our biggest month ever, getting ready to go into the summer season, which actually in our printing world starts in March. We were housing maybe 7 or 8 of our restaurants, all of their product to get ready to go out. It had all been produced. It was sitting on our dock. Some instances was getting ready to ship that day. We found out that the world was closing down for 2 weeks. So they said, hold on to it. We held on to it. We would call back and found out that most of those companies had gone dormant because they had no revenue coming in. Through very scary time. In the meantime, we actually laid off we did not lay off. We asked our whole workforce to go home because we had no business. 2 days later, we brought all of our workforce back and started making medical face shields. Over the next 90 days, we made 357,000 medical face shields. Our first order was for 25,000. Our first day of production, we produced 800. So we had to figure out a way to get that production up. We all took turns, Preston to our fulfillment center, warehouse workers, we're all working next to each other, within 6 feet of each other, let's say, on our production floor, figuring it out. By 8 weeks later, we were making 8,500 masks a day.
Wow. I almost have goosebumps when I think that your business was 90% restaurant and everything closed down.
It was
your owner must have had a heart attack.
Yeah, it was the scariest part of our lives. There were certain people within the company that knew the financial impact of that I had trouble looking in the eyes, and because being over 50 years old trying to start a new career was not something I was looking forward to.
Trust me, I'm living it.
Yeah, it's not something I was looking forward to, but we came through it. We came back a stronger company. Uh, we learned a lot of lessons during that time about our survival instincts within the business, and really our associates that were working on these shields. They really contributed. No one got COVID the whole time. One person got to COVID the first 90 days,
Wow.
and we were able to we shut down production for a day to clean our facility, make sure that we were safe, brought people back, but we kept going, and I think it was people with that positive attitude that really kept people from getting sick and moved us through the pandemic.
And what did it do to everybody as a team?
Much stronger team still today. We talk about COVID still. We still have remnants of all the letters that we received from the hospitals that got our product. Maybe the nurses that were traveling to New York City at that time. If any individual nurse called us, they were traveling to New York City, we would give them product for free. We did not charge them. We only charged hospitals and the government organizations who were stocking up on these materials to hand out.
And spending tons of money, but yeah.
Right.
Wow, I'm like almost speechless after that. I would have for sure lost my marbles had that been me.
But
Wow.
we came through it, and we're a stronger company because of it. Now I have a hard time thinking that where we'd be right now without it. I'm sure that would be an experience that I
You
would.
don't even have to think about it.
Yeah,
Waste of time.
it's just yeah, it happened, and we got through it.
And all your clients were appreciative and good and
Yeah, Tony Trayvon, he's now our CEO, but he's the son of the founder of the company. He got online and sold medical face shields as if he was a individual manufacturer that needed work for his employees. It was a brilliant move, and it was true. That still made it brilliant, right? When you tell a true story about survival, and
yeah.
we were working all over the country with different people. People were calling us because we did it so early. I had a lot of vendors giving us right of first refusal for materials for the elastic that we had to buy out of
Because
a
you were in there first,
company
right?
in California that sold elastic that can be cut by knives, or we it was all by hand. It was all we die cut the plastic, but everything else was done by hand.
Wow. How old is Tony?
32 years old.
I'm only asking because I'm going to want to speak to him later. And let me ask you a question just off the cuff. When you started in print, did you have a full head of hair like me?
I had a slightly better head of hair, but not much. I've been.
I,
I think I
I had a
started.
full head. I had a
I
full
think I
head.
started losing my hair when I was 18. So I was
Okay.
by that time I come around after college. I was pretty short. So
Okay. Got it. So we were chatting before, and we were talking about your business and everything. And one of the things that your business that you mentioned was that you're part of a group called Graphic Arts Alliance. I know Graphic Arts Alliance is a buying group. I used to be part of a buying group for 18 years when I had my company. Um, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about why you're part of a group, maybe what the benefits are, and who's Graphic Arts Alliance.
well, sure. So Graphic Arts Alliance, like you said, is a buying group. We signed up to work with John Bracelet at the time and his group as a way to really make better deals with our vendors. I didn't know much about the buying groups, what they did. I was afraid I was going to be enforced to buying a bunch of products that didn't fit my needs, but that was not the case with Graphic Arts Alliance. They had a set of vendors we could work with. Some of the deals, the vendors, we were actually getting really good deals, and it wasn't a cost saving. But when the paper world, at the end of the quarter, everything's come up, and we get a rebate back on what we spent with the companies that are suppliers that are part of the Graphic Arts Alliance that work out deals. So it's very easy for us. We don't report anything. We have a list of companies that we can work with and that have special pricing. That's about as far as we have to get in. Paper invoices from the major distributors are rebated back to us directly based off our usage at the end of the quarter.
Cool. So, being part of the group, do you use all the vendors in the group, or do you have vendors that aren't, but you use the others?
We use whatever we have not adjusted our vendor usage whatsoever. But almost all the vendors in the Graphic Arts Alliance are vendors we presently use. So
Okay. So it coincidentally worked out like that for you.
it just worked out that way with me. I did not have to change any of our paper vendors, did not have to change. We just recently got into the large format world where we were able to use some of their contacts within the large format supplies to get good deals on those. So that was more of a on purpose idea or plan to use those. But in the original sense, we did not have to change any of our current vendors.
Yeah, so when I was a member of the other group, I mean, I always tried to use the member the member vendors, but that was only secondary. Primarily for me, I've always looked for the right vendors for my company because it's not always about the money. Like I had Fuji wasn't part of it, and I was with Fuji for 27 years. I never left them for $1 because everything was great. And to leave them to go to another plate guy, I would have to redo 5 certifications on the press for a cost of, X amount of dollars. But what I did do when I used the vendors that were part of the group, I thought it was great because I would negotiate my own local pricing because every market has its own pricing. But then at the end, I got a rebate at the end of the quarter after our numbers were, given to them or however they got their numbers. So it was pretty simple. But the
Yeah,
rebate, oh my God.
this is very simple. I if I would have had to do reporting or added a task to someone here at our company, I doubt we would have done it. But the ability to just sign up, start using these vendors and doing nothing else. I don't know how what our I don't keep track of what our rebates would be throughout the quarter, but I do know that I do get checks at the end of the quarter, and they're all outlined individual what each of my transactions worth and why I'm getting that rebate.
Oh no, for me, I thought it was great. And, I mean, I call on some people now just to see about joining the buying group and everything, and I'm amazed at how many people don't give me the time of day or for the cost of almost nothing to be part of it. Because the other thing I did when I was part of the buying group, I used the buying group in my marketing as a member of. We're part of an international or North American network with $5 billion of revenue. And should you need to do something somewhere else, I have the capabilities and the contacts to have something produced for you anywhere in the continent.
Yeah, great comment there. We are not. We're a privately held company. We're one company. I only can buy things off the buying power of my company. GAA allowed us to use a bigger network to buy to produce better deals. So when we go up against the Donnellys of the world, we're able to compete better on the supplies that go the paper, the ink, the lamination material, whatever it is we're buying at that time.
Yeah, and I think it's not. I think being a part of it, it's not only that; it's giving you the ability to forget the rebate. It's giving you the ability to play in some other games, other markets.
Right. Probably more important than the rebates is the ability to know you have that strength that
And
in
have you ever found Have you ever found yourself like looking to meet some of the other members because you had to do something somewhere or be somewhere closer to someone?
so we do meet some of the members quarterly at Printing United. They always have a get together with the alliance members. We'll get together and talk. So and a lot of I met over the years, not really through we didn't meet because of the GAA, but we were just common members as I kind of network with other printing companies around the country.
Cool. And have any of your local vendors said anything to you because you're a member of a buying group?
I'm
Like,
not sure they even know or care. It
doesn't
doesn't
matter.
it doesn't come out of their direct budget. They're not having
Exactly.
anything either. So that never comes up in a conversation when we're negotiating anything. We do make our own deals. It's it's just icing on the cake if something happens better at that in the end.
Yes, I always say because I mean it's not a secret in the printing industry. The top 10% of the industry that does well today is maybe 8, 9, 10% plus in their bottom line, and then the average industry in the old days was 2, 3%. Maybe now it's 1, 2%, which I still don't understand. But anything that we can get back for anything, I don't know why not everyone doesn't run to just do it. We fight so hard for the pennies. I mean, I remember calling someone recently and said, well, I don't know if it's that much money. I said, well, maybe it's not a lot to you, but if you're going to get 5 grand or 10 grand back, I said, put it in the employee social club, make their life different.
Or however you use it, it's worth it because there's no work involved. That's the
That's
thing
the
to
key.
remember about GA. There's no work involved. The organization itself does all the work. We just reap the benefits.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful thing. So, what are you guys doing next on the agenda? Any plans, any purchases that you want to tell the whole world publicly about?
Uh, Not necessarily. We're moving deeper into the digital world. We're actually moving in. I mentioned we moved into the large format world, just on a small scale. We still buy a lot of that out for our customers, but our customer base is using that materials, so it makes sense for us to continue to be the manufacturer of that product. And we're continue to delve into the data collection around the restaurant world and trying to expand into other vertical markets that need a nationwide distribution model like we can offer. I mean, Kansas City is a great location. That 3-day ground to service to anywhere in the United States makes us a viable option for any national organization to use.
Cool. By the way, I have a really good friend whose business is software, but restaurant related for purchasing and billing and all that other stuff, and they've got a pretty good size market. So if you or any of your customers have a need for like a real player in that field, just reach out to me and I'll make the
We
introduction.
definitely talk more about that.
Yeah, no, that's good. Wow, wow, wow. Time flies. Man, that's just all so exciting. What did I learn today? A printer that dedicates most of its time, 90% to the restaurant industry. That's incredible. But they are the national restaurants, so you have a bit of a breathing room there.
So yeah, we're close to about 100 national restaurant brands now. So
Wow.
I
Because
don't
I
know.
know when I go to local restaurants, I don't want to do their business.
I don't. Yeah, it's the scale that makes it valuable, and our ability to use just our knowledge around the restaurant world. I don't worry about other printers stealing my clients. I worry about our restaurant clients coming in to try to hire them to come run their menu programs.
Right. There's always something to worry about.
Yes, there is.
Cool. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. I mean, there's so many more things I want to ask you, but I probably shouldn't because it's probably not for public conversation. But very interesting what you guys do. Very happy to have had you on. To everybody who's watching, I really hope you enjoyed this session as much as I did. Especially when I learned something new. It's always good. Michael, thank you for the time. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. I appreciate it since I am the we. Um, and Yeah, and to everybody else, if anybody out there wants to come on the show with me, talk about something, talk about good, spread some good information, reach out to me. Be happy to have you. Keep watching, keep commenting, good or bad, just comment. It just keeps people listening. Again, Michael, thank you to everybody else. Warren Werbitt, what they think. I love print, and we'll see you again soon.